On an otherwise ordinary evening, the bustling life of Camden Row in London came to an abrupt, chilling halt. Residents peered from their windows, their usual nightly routine shattered by a sea of flashing blue lights and the silent, imposing presence of British police. A cordon was thrown up, sealing the entire street from the outside world. No one was allowed in, and no one was allowed out. What was happening on Camden Row? Why the sudden, deafening silence enforced by a wall of authority? Tonight, we peeled back the layers of secrecy surrounding one of London's most perplexing police operations. This is the story of the night the silence fell on Camden Row. It all began just after 9 p.m. Witnesses recall the first police car arriving without sirens, a single, ghost-like vehicle gliding to a stop at the corner of Camden Row and Islington Avenue. Within minutes, it was joined by another, and then another. There was no chaos, no shouting, just a quiet, methodical occupation of the street. Officers moved with a disciplined urgency, unspooling yellow tape that glinted under the streetlights. Residents who were out walking their dogs or returning from a late shift found their paths blocked by stern-faced constables offering no explanation, only a simple, firm command: the street is closed. Please return to your homes. For those already inside, a strange sense of unease began to creep in. The usual sounds of the city, the distant traffic, the chatter from the pub on the corner, faded away, replaced by an unsettling quiet, punctuated only by the crackle of police radios. The information vacuum was immediate and absolute. Social media lit up with frantic speculation. Was it a bomb threat? A major crime scene? A counter-terrorism raid? Every theory seemed plausible, yet none could be confirmed. Local news crews arrived, their cameras aimed at the impenetrable police line, but they were kept at a distance, their questions met with a resolute no comment. This lack of official information was unusual. Typically, in a major incident, the police would issue a brief statement to quell public anxiety. But on this night, the silence from the authorities was as thick and imposing as the physical blockade itself. This deliberate information blackout only fueled the growing sense of dread among the trapped residents and the watching world. Something significant was unfolding behind that tape, and the police were determined to keep it under wraps. Inside the cordon, life ground to a standstill. A food delivery driver, his thermal bag growing cold, was politely but firmly turned away. A young couple, returning from a date, pleaded with officers to let them get to their flat, only to be told they'd have to wait. The minutes stretched into an hour, then two. Through their windows, residents watched shadowy figures move in the darkness. Specialized units began to arrive, forensics in their stark white suits, plainclothes detectives in unmarked cars, and even a command vehicle, its roof bristling with antennas. The scale of the operation suggested this was far more than a routine police matter. The air was thick with tension. Every flicker of movement, every hushed conversation between officers, was scrutinized by dozens of pairs of eyes, all trying to piece together the puzzle of what was happening right on their doorstep. Then, around midnight, the focus of the operation became clear. Police activity converged on a single terraced house in the middle of the row, number 237. It was an unremarkable building, indistinguishable from its neighbors, save for the fact that it was now the epicenter of this massive police presence. Lights inside the house, previously dark, flickered on. Officers began to move in and out, not with the dynamic entry of a raid, but with a slow, careful precision. Forensics teams could be seen through the windows, their torches creating strange, dancing patterns on the walls. They weren't kicking down doors. They were treating the house like an archaeological dig, a place where every speck of dust could hold a vital clue. What secrets did number 237 hold? And who were the people who lived within its walls? The mystery of Camden Row had just found its heart. The residents of number 237 were a quiet, enigmatic couple, known to neighbors only as Mr. and Mrs. Davies. They had moved in about 6 months prior and largely kept to themselves. They were polite but distant, offering a brief nod in passing but never engaging in conversation. Neighbors described them as meticulously private. Their curtains were always drawn, and they received few, if any, visitors. Some found their reclusiveness odd, while others simply assumed they were people who valued their privacy. No one could recall any strange noises, any arguments, or anything at all that would suggest trouble. They were, for all intents and purposes, invisible. And now, their quiet, anonymous existence had become the focus of a major police investigation that had brought an entire London street to a standstill. The question on everyone's lips was simple. Who were the Davieses, really? As the forensics teams worked meticulously inside number 237, a different kind of investigation was unfolding online. Amateur sleuths and concerned locals began to dig into the history of the house and its previous occupants. Public records showed nothing unusual. The house had been sold 6 months ago through a reputable estate agent. But then, a user on a local community forum posted something that sent a shiver through the digital crowd. They had found an old news article from 20 years ago detailing a high-profile, unsolved art heist in Brussels. The prize? A collection of rare 17th-century manuscripts. The estimated value was in the millions. The key detail that caught everyone's attention was the description of the two main suspects, a man and a woman, known for their sophisticated methods and their ability to vanish without a trace. Their police sketch bore a striking, if aged, resemblance to the couple known as the Davieses. Could it be possible? Could the quiet couple on Camden Row be the infamous international art thieves who had disappeared 2 decades ago? It seemed like something out of a movie. But as the night wore on, the theory gained traction. The sheer scale of the police presence, the involvement of what looked like National Crime Agency officers, and the intense, careful search of the property, it all pointed to something far more complex than a typical domestic incident. The police weren't just searching a house. They were searching for a past. They were looking for evidence that could close a case that had been cold for 20 years. The silence on Camden Row wasn't just about controlling a scene. It was about preventing the suspects from learning they had finally been found, giving them no chance to destroy the evidence the police were so desperate to find. Just before dawn, after nearly 8 hours of tense silence, the operation reached its climax. 2 figures, their faces obscured by coats held up by detectives, were escorted from number 237. They were placed into separate, unmarked cars, which then slipped away into the early morning light as silently as they had arrived. There was no struggle, no drama. It was the quiet, almost anticlimactic end to a night of immense tension. A few hours later, the police tape came down. The command vehicles departed, and the street was reopened. Traffic started to flow again, and the familiar sounds of London life returned to Camden Row. It was as if nothing had happened. But for the residents, the memory of the silent, occupied street would linger. The official police statement, when it finally came, was brief and carefully worded. It confirmed that 2 individuals had been arrested in connection with an ongoing international investigation and that the operation had concluded. They offered no further details. In the days that followed, investigative journalists connected the dots. The arrested couple were indeed the prime suspects in the 2-decade-old Brussels art heist. For 20 years, they had lived under various aliases across Europe, always one step ahead of the law. Their quiet life on Camden Row was the latest and final chapter of their life on the run. It was revealed that a breakthrough had come from a newly developed facial recognition technology that matched a recent, incidental photo of Mr. Davies to the old suspect's sketch. The police operation on Camden Row was so secretive because they weren't just arresting the suspects. They were hoping to recover the stolen manuscripts, which they believed were hidden somewhere inside the house. And they were successful. Buried beneath the floorboards of the master bedroom, wrapped in oilcloth, was the entire collection, perfectly preserved. The night the silence fell on Camden Row was a masterclass in patient, methodical police work. It was a story that unfolded not with a bang, but with a whisper. A story of a past that finally caught up with the present, played out on a quiet residential street in the heart of London. It serves as a stark reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary secrets are hidden behind the most ordinary doors. The residents of Camden Row will never look at their street the same way again, forever haunted by the memory of the night their world went quiet and a 20-year-old mystery was finally solved. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into fascinating true stories. We'll see you next time.